U.S. Grant Hotel, and that's where Graham Ledger is right now with more on Mr. Bush's visit. Graham?
Well, Margaret, President Bush arrives in San Diego, trailing in the polls both nationally and on a state level. He also arrives to a very vocal crowd of Bill Clinton supporters, which you can see and hear behind me. Now, the president touched down in San Diego, actually on Coronado, North Island Naval Air Station, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then took a motorcade downtown here to the U.S. Grant Hotel. The president's stay in San Diego is going to be a brief one, not a very hectic schedule for the president at all, about 17 hours here in San Diego. He's attending a Victory 92 party right now, the re-election effort in full swing, and that's it for tonight. Nothing else scheduled. Tomorrow, Rancho Penasquitos, he'll meet with a conservation group, and then off to Washington State to continue the campaign. You see the president greeting an Escondido volunteer at North Island, a woman who's one of the president's 1,000 points of light. Now, we mentioned the polls. Bush trails Clinton in the Newsweek poll, a 15-point lead for Clinton. Clinton has 53%, Bush with 38%. Another poll out of Orange County shows the two in a virtual dead heat. Orange County is critical for the president. Now, earlier today, the president talked in Omaha. He talked about taxes.
Listen, he wants at least 200 April 15th.
President Bush a little bit earlier today. No campaign appearances for Governor Bill Clinton today. Instead, he went to the theater and he went to church. Meantime, his aides repeated their demand for a debate with President Bush. They say they haven't heard word one from the Bush camp about a debate scheduled. Vice President Dan Quayle has a demand for Governor Clinton right now. He says the Democratic candidate must be more forthcoming about his Vietnam War record.
To see whether the media demands of him what they demanded of me in 1988. Well, because I answered all the questions, and the media hounded me for 3 weeks. And now it looks like the Bill Clinton...
Well, you're against the media hounding Bill Clinton on this issue?
No, I think that it's good for the media to hound Bill Clinton, just like they hounded me. To be very...
Clinton aides say the Democratic presidential candidate has answered those questions before and does not need to do so again. Once again, recapping, President Bush is in San Diego tonight at the U.S. Grant Hotel. Outside, some very vocal protesters. They are Governor Bill Clinton fans, of course. President will be in San Diego overnight to Rancho Penasquitos tomorrow, a very brief meeting there. Then he'll be off on the campaign trail once again. 7 weeks to go in the 1992 presidential election campaign. Margaret?
Fire burning out of control around the state. Smoke and flames forcing more than 8,000 residents out of their homes. At least one small town has been destroyed. One firefighter says it was like driving into the gates of hell. Good evening, everybody. Mother Nature tops our news tonight. In California, several wildfires are burning out of control. The largest in Shasta County, where more than 35,000 acres have been destroyed. It's the worst firestorm in 5 years. Firefighters are strained to the breaking point right now, and the state is asking for help and equipment from the National Guard. A smaller fire is burning in Mammoth and another outside of Santa Barbara. In Calaveras County, residents lucky enough to go home now are returning to find there's nothing left. The East Coast is bracing for a hurricane tonight. Andrew is heading for the Florida coast and fast with winds of up to 100 miles an hour. Forecasters say it's picking up steam along the way. Meantime, residents are packing up, storing supplies for when it hits. A hurricane watch is in effect right now for parts of Florida and the Bahamas. The great 1992 San Diego heat wave is officially over. It broke last night to the relief of all of us when a front from Alaska stepped in. News 8's Doug McAllister reports it's back to normal, at least for the time being.
McAllister, News 8.
Politics now. The presidential race is heating up, and so are the poll takers. So far, one thing is clear. Bill Clinton remains in the lead. A Newsweek poll shows the president gained little ground after the convention, but an LA Times poll shows the president only trailing by 8 points. Mr. Bush's approval rating remains at 38%, the same as before the convention. Bill Clinton doesn't approve of President Bush or the Republican convention for that matter. Speaking at a rally in Ohio, Clinton says the Republicans spent half the time campaigning against Hillary instead of talking about the issues. President Bush, meantime, plans to spend a lot of time in this country campaigning over the next few months, but he's not apologizing for time he spent overseas. President Bush says the November 3rd vote is a choice between two different agendas and a choice about character. In Sacramento, the budget battle continues with some progress being made. The Assembly meeting again today to consider a new budget package. Best hope for an agreement may come from the Senate, however, where yet another proposal is being drafted. Meantime, in San Diego, the City Council approved plans for an exchange program that would allow people holding state-issued IOUs to exchange them for cash. Businesses would then use the IOUs to pay state taxes. The Magic Kingdom is offering to help rebuild riot-torn areas of Los Angeles. The Walt Disney Company is raising $1 million in loans. The money will go to small businesses that can't obtain conventional bank loans. Some business owners are rejected by banks because of where they live or lack of collateral. And Bank of America will soon begin consolidating. B of A will reportedly close 1/3 of its more than 100 branches in San Diego County. This in the wake of the giant $5 billion takeover of Security Pacific. 29 of the 35 bank closures will be Security Pacific offices. Hundreds of workers are expected to be let go. And they'll be in your Sunday paper tomorrow. Coupons. Only these are compliments of Northwest Airlines. $35 and $50 discounts will be added to already cheap promotional fares. The coupons must be used between September 6th and December 14th. Coming up next on News 8, their temple was the target of a hate crime. While the paint is gone, the attack is having a lasting effect. That story is coming up next. Plus, we'll take you to the Bay to a giant party for America's finest kids. Elsewhere tonight, hundreds of families headed to the Bay today for a little fun in the sun. It was Kids Day on the Bay, part of America's finest City Week festivities. The event drew thousands. Plenty of fun and games and a lot of great music. Seems for the Padres, they've gotten so close, but yet so far. They're up there and then they're down again.
Yeah, it's tough to get motivated if you're a Padre fan because, yeah you play 7 more against the Braves, but you win 5 of the 7 and you only pick up 3 games.
Now more about Woody, Mia, and Soon Yi. Woody Allen now says he took nude pictures of Mia Farrow's adopted daughter because the 21-year-old asked him to. In an interview with Time magazine, Allen says Soon Yi wants to become a model. Farrow reportedly threw Soon Yi out of the house when she found those pictures. And finally tonight, an update on the Fergie scandal that's shaking up the British royalty. The Duchess of York is now in seclusion at a Scottish castle. It's been nothing but shame since newspapers published pictures of her frolicking with an American businessman. More pictures, believe it or not, are due out tomorrow. Royal observers say Fergie will be leaving that castle soon, and they hint, she may never return. And the saga continues.
I know why I'm in sports.
Yes. We shall return at 11 o'clock. That'll do it for us now. See you then. Good night. I'm Graham Ledger. Coming up next on News 8, 1 million people around Miami are told to get out before Hurricane Andrew gets in. We'll talk with one Miami woman who plans to stay right where she is. And she always wanted to do it, so she did. A great-grandmother goes skydiving. Margaret's on vacation. News 8 is coming up next.
Yes, we could be in ran.
As we told you, Andrew's winds are already whipping the Florida coast, but that's just the beginning. The worst is yet to come. The U.S. Spokesman for the National Hurricane Center says he hoped he'd never live to experience one of these. Someone who's only hours from experiencing Andrew is Miami resident Pat Randolph. She joins us now by telephone. Pat, how's the weather out there?
Beautiful, balmy evening, Graham.
You're a veteran of hurricanes. You survived Camille back in 1969, so good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, Pat, thank you. We have a hurricane in Baja to tell you about tonight. That will come a little bit later in our newscast. Now the latest on the big fire in Shasta County. It has now burned more than 63,000 acres and continues to burn out of control. The fire is only 30% contained. More than 200 homes have been destroyed so far. Meantime, the fire in Mammoth Lakes has stopped growing after eating up 7,000 acres. University City residents are alarmed by a shocking discovery this morning. Dynamite in their neighborhood. 35 sticks found on the grounds of Stanley Junior High. The Metro Arson Strike Team was called and destroyed the explosives, but it could have been a lot worse. Authorities say the explosives indeed could have gone off. 7 more sticks of dynamite were found later on near the school. So far, no word on how they got there. Well, today was a chance for San Diegans to feel, to touch, and to walk on a tragic part of American history. About 6,000 people visited the USS Vincennes on the Embarcadero this Sunday, the first time the ship has been open to the public in 4 years. Back in 1988, the Vincennes mistakenly shot down an Iranian airliner, killing 290 people.
Most of the people...
The Navy is trying to bring a different ship into San Diego every weekend for public viewing. Up next, a big Bill Clinton rally in San Diego today with a little influence from Hollywood. That story. Then later, she's a senior citizen, she's a great-grandmother, and yes, she's going skydiving. We'll take you along for the ride as News 8 continues. In the race for president, the polls showed George Bush trailing Bill Clinton. And today in San Diego, a rally for Clinton. News 8's Doug McAllister reports Democrats who were there for it are expecting a fight to the finish.
Let's get our...
Hey, Kearney Mason.
Politics, the furthest thing from anyone's mind at downtown San Diego today. Instead, the theme was fun for the final day of America's Finest City Week. Some of the activities, bubblegum blowing contests, trolley rides for kids, even Ted Leitner masks were given away. News 8's Sandra Moss and Liz Purcell helped give away free ice cream. Get the feeling it wasn't too tough a job. Busy day in baseball today. Kurt Sandoval has the highlights next in sports. Plus, Andy Bennis gets back on track for the Padres. You'll hear from him next.
San Diego's highest-rated TV newscast.
Good evening, everybody. It's the day after the most anticipated verdicts in years. The first day of the new life of Los Angeles. Those are the words from Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley as he praised the people of his city for the calm that followed yesterday's verdicts in the Rodney King civil rights trial. The LA Police Department is considering whether to pull some firepower off the streets now. Thousands of police officers and National Guard troops mobilized in case of trouble were never needed.
The real riots and destruction on our streets.
The increased police presence did lead to a drop in serious crime. It was down by as much as 60% in some areas.
Well, Graham,
And here in San Diego tonight, all is quiet. Police report no acts of violence, no civil unrest associated with the verdicts. So, as a result, the emergency command post is slowly closing down. It opened on Monday. Several agencies, from police to the Navy to SDG&E, all working together preparing for possible trouble.
We have a spin of the verdicts.
At some point, the command post will be shut down completely, but it will be used again, possibly during the sentencing of the officers in August. And the city and county hotlines are shut down tonight. The hotlines were designed to let San Diego residents vent any frustrations over the verdicts. The county number received some 600 calls yesterday. Elsewhere tonight, the Navy's hoping it's the final chapter on the tailhook black eye. The final report on that convention is due out soon. The Navy is working on a large program trying to eliminate sexual harassment. The plan is aimed at changing behavior as well as attitudes.
well, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, it's time to have some fun at the All About Kids Expo.
And another expo for you if you're single and have been looking for love in all the wrong places. We'll be right back. Well, being single in the 1990s is not easy, and it's the focus of another expo in Mission Valley tonight. It's billed as Southern California's largest event for romantic eligibles. Among the issues being discussed, reducing the stress of being single and how to develop good relationships.
Friendship.
Tonight, from now until midnight, a giant dance party, apparently to apply what has been learned. And of course, it was Susan Peters doing the report. We want to let you all know that Susan indeed had her baby, Nicole Rose, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. Mom, baby, and father are all doing fine right now.
Doing well.
And way to go, Susan. We'll see you in about 6 or 7 weeks, I guess.
That's the latest from the Channel 8 maternity department.
Yes.
Really?
More to come.
At least 2 more that we know of. Any secrets out here?
No.
None.
All right.
Believe me.
That's our news. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.
News 8, San Diego's #1 source for news.
Good evening, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us and making us a part of your special day. Topping our news tonight. Good evening, everybody, from Pittsburgh in front of Three Rivers Stadium. Can you believe it? Good evening, everybody. There's no easy way to say it. The Chargers lost. Good evening, everybody. That's the big question and our top story tonight. A construction project is what's keeping some local residents up at night. Okay, thanks, Maria Solis in the newsroom. Elsewhere this evening, CHP officers tonight are still trying to find the driver of a stolen truck, which caused an accident on Highway 78 today. The suspected thief was driving a brown truck when it collided head-on with another truck. A 33-year-old woman was in that vehicle. She says she was driving to work when the truck swerved into her lane. She was taken to Palomar Hospital in good condition. The suspect apparently ran off after the accident. Elsewhere tonight, a tragic fire in New Jersey today. In all, 9 people killed. 6 of them were small children. Investigators in Orange, New Jersey say it's the worst fire in 25 years. It's believed all of the victims were related. Firefighters believe it started on the first floor and quickly spread through an open stairway. Well, the worst is over for residents of northern Japan right now. This after a mighty 7.5 earthquake. Warnings of a tidal wave or tsunami have been lifted, but the damage is done. The quake killed 2 people, injured more than 200. It was centered beneath the Pacific Ocean about 390 miles northeast of Tokyo. And in Northern California, they're still mopping up after an earthquake there. Eureka hit by a quake on Monday, and city officials are hoping for a state bailout to pay for repairs. So far, damage is estimated at more than $1 million. The Major League Baseball strike continues. Major action is taking place for the Padres. The Padres trading 25% of its team, a whopping 12 players, to the Houston Astros. San Diego giving up a couple of big hitters, but the Padres will receive what they really need, defense. Details coming up a little later in sports. Well, they were rumbling down at the sports arena tonight. The World Wrestling Federation, part of a fundraiser. And who better to talk about the event than the man, the myth, the legend, Classy Freddie Blassie, the man who coined the phrase pencil neck geek.
Dinosaurs might still be around today.
And we should point out that's Jurassic Park video. It's not some handy cam of some caveman happened to have back then.
For those of you who might be confused out there, right?
Larry here for Lauren. I thought there was going to be a riot down at the sports arena tonight.
Oh, the WWF.
WWF, and it started to rain, rain, rain.
Really?
Yeah, those fans out there, they were getting their hair wet with little hair they had.
Was it fake rain?
No.
The only thing legit.
It was fixed.
Oh, yeah.
Do more than just party and toga.
And toga, right? Another tough day for the Chargers.
Next in sports, Rick will show us how the Patriots sacked the Chargers. All I have to say is, sorry, Rick, I told you so. Now, we talked about this yesterday.
No.
If it was good weather, I thought the Chargers would lose, which is ironic because they're from San Diego.
Okay, if you want to talk about weather, talk to Kim.
Well, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a rose. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Sort of. Let's hear it. Quack, 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 quack.
Weekend long, and he joins us now via satellite live.
Good evening, everybody, from Pittsburgh in front of Three River Stadium. Can you believe it? I have 3 words for you. On to Miami for just one word, the Super Bowl. The San Diego Chargers clinching the American Football Conference Championship today. For the first time in team history, they will be going to the Super Bowl. We're still pinching ourselves around here right now. I truly believe this is a team of destiny, and while Charger fans were very confident today, I think there was still a doubt in some of their minds. Well, doubt no more and start believing. Charger fans who came to Pittsburgh will probably also be going to Miami for that big game down in Miami, the Super Bowl. It was cold today, it was wet, but in the second half of the game it didn't matter. The Chargers took the lead and San Diego fans went absolutely nuts. These folks horribly outnumbered, but very, very vocal. Several hundred Charger fans sprinkled in between Steeler fans when the Chargers stopped Pittsburgh during the final 2 minutes of the game. Well, San Diegans were euphoric. They were hugging each other. They were kissing, and all of it in front of Steeler fans. Wow. It is still pretty hard to believe, isn't it? But the San Diego Chargers will be playing the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. I'm sure a lot of fans who came to Pittsburgh will indeed be in Miami. Well, it did happen. Maybe if we say it enough, it'll finally sink in. Well, today, this morning, Charger fans were treated to a really wonderful rally, a pregame rally, compliments of the KFMB stations. Well, the San Diego Chargers really depressed this town. Let me tell you, the fans, the team, and the media all gave the Chargers 0 chance of winning this game. Want some proof? Here it is. Obviously, one of the more intelligent Steeler fans. About an hour before game time, ticket scalpers were making a lot of money, a lot indeed. They were selling playoff tickets for about $300 each. And you know what? Fans were buying them at that price. Steeler fans, that is, who are now very unhappy. Of course, Charger fans are very happy. And if you think this game was hyped, San Diego, stand by. For the next 2 weeks, you're going to be hearing one. I'm Graham Ledger with Channel 8.
How you doing, Graham?
Living out of fantasy.
Are you?
I get to
Dress?
FPP with you.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I'm not any good, but...
I'll do like Lou Ross did.
We're going to give you a little Lou Ross. Huh?
Yeah, Lou Ross came out here a couple years ago, and Johnny Crunk gave him a glove. And first fly ball went to him, hit him right in the forehead. And then later on, he's charging after a ground ball, and he goes to pick it up, and he steps on his glove, and he tumbles over. So,
that's the curse of John Crunk there.
We'll get you a helmet.
Yeah. I'll take any tips you can give me, all right?
All right, well, just stand close to somebody who can't catch, just in case.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Right foot.
Did you get swept up in that at all? Tell me about what that was like. As somebody who
I remember how to do this.
Oh, payday today.
Bigger hole in the back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just, oh, you're gonna make him feel bad here. Oh, wow. Ring out of house. Now it's like,
Howdy. Who am I?
one time. I know what it's supposed to be. We never had. Damn it, $9 grand.
Face first doing that, and then...
All right.
Hey, Dave.
If I'm doing this. I gotta fix these.
Stand up first, sit down.
All right.
A lot of people, regular everyday people, going up there.
Where's my cup?
Now, when he showed up, I knew was there still a party with a 11-year-old kid inside? Boss was way over there. We never heard from him.
Howdy.
Maybe if he would have been
Hey,
Gene. It would have been something big. But since he was so far away, they knew about it. They knew about it.
Hey, you know what this road was?
Yeah, I saw Billy Reed last night.
Did you? Yeah.
How bad do I look? Quit laughing, will you?
I looked at you while Rudy was talking.
Okay, I thought I had one with an 8 on it, but I don't.
What's that?
Thought I had one with an 8 on it. Just a second. I got somebody waiting for you.
Almost no one knows this about me, but I have bad vision, really bad. So bad the DMV considers me legally blind. But now, something's about to happen to my eyes that I never dreamed possible.
Monday, Graham Ledger goes into surgery.
I'm a little tense.
See the cutting-edge procedure that some people are calling a miracle. If you wear glasses or contacts, this special report will open your eyes. Watch Laser Vision, Monday on News 8 at 5.
Good evening, everybody. A fast-moving brush fire ripped through a home in Lakeside tonight. I'm Graham Ledger. Up next on News 8 at 6:30. I'm Graham Ledger. Homicide detectives are trying to piece together this murder mystery. Good evening, everybody. I'm Graham Ledger, and that story tops our news tonight. A tragedy in the making down at the beach. For the very latest, we go live now to News 8's Ronnie Loiza at Mission Beach. Ronnie, what's the situation? Now, once again, 6 structures and more than 1,200 acres of brush have burned, but no injuries have been reported. Down the road in Escondido, firefighters were busy putting out an apartment fire on East Washington Street. Investigators say they think the flames were caused by a faulty water heater in the apartment complex. It is the Democrats' version of the contract with America, but will it work like the contract did back in 1994? Congressional Democrats outlined their campaign blueprint today. It's aimed at helping the middle class. It includes college tax credits, welfare reform, and more police on the streets. The Republican contract with America helped the GOP regain the majority in Congress 2 years ago. Elsewhere this evening, a man is in the hospital tonight after a frightening accident involving a bull. The accident happened at a rodeo in San Ysidro. The man was thrown from the bull and trampled. The man was taken to UCSD Medical Center with injuries to his face and his chest. We'll have more on this story tonight on News 8 at 11 o'clock. And the man who was mauled after slipping into a bear enclosure on Friday at the zoo is doing much better tonight. Matthew Settles was treated at Mercy Hospital for injuries to the stomach and to the groin. Tonight, he is in good condition. He is expected to stay in the hospital for 2 or 3 more days, and he will undergo a psychiatric exam. A Logan Heights Baptist pastor was absent from the pulpit today, but not by choice. Reverend Willie Smith is fighting a court injunction forcing him away from his church. News 8's Susan Scher reports the controversy is dividing the congregation. Padres split the series with the Cubs. I guess it was 4 games, right? 2 each? But it kind of seems like they won, you know?
The way
they won the series.
Compared to the way they were playing before.
Well, what a way to end June. Can you believe it? The Padres are now officially back in first place by themselves.
By 1 game.
And with the Dodgers coming up.
Now,
it boils down to this. They don't want to be embarrassed when the Republican National Convention arrives in August. They don't want what they call a kazoo symphony. That was the theme here today at a rally in support, trying to revive the San Diego Symphony. Right, Sandra, he's the 44th Vice President of the United States of America. And one of the things he's remembered for, among other things, was taking